Hi, my name is Dalia and welcome to my channel. Before we start, the disclaimer. With disclaimer, we're done. Let's begin. I'm gonna share with you how I still not get my deposit from my previous flat. My agency from previous flat was asking me provide my final bills, which I totally understand. And because the certain law are changed by now, they're trying to, secure the new tenants and even all tenants around the London and around the England probably. I don't really much know about that. However, I understood why. So, who is renting in this country? Obviously, there's certain situation what happened because when you're moving out, and if that person who used to live before in your flat didn't change the address and this and that, so you getting our person's bills to pay. Long story in short, I was having also this type of experience, but about that a little bit later. At the moment, I got all the final bills that they needed. However, they didn't like the dates. Now I know exactly which date is supposed to be on your final bills. Has to be the date then your flat, which one you used to rent, the clerk look for and sign the papers. Okay, done. I know that. I understand it. Totally fine. The problem is not about that. With Octopus provider, electricity and gas, they send me not really correct the document. They send me the final bills of a gas. But I didn't have a gas in that flat for a long time actually, because the landlord wanted to get rid of it. So it took me a little bit of a time to get the final bills of electricity, because this is the thing what was inside the flat the last day I was still living there, right? Also, the Thames water. This is actually was my mistake. I submit a little bit wrong day for 2 days. Because in this flat I don't have very good internet connection. For some reason I couldn't even reach the Thames water to call them. I have no idea how it is connected. Actually supposed to be, if you want to have a proper call, it shouldn't be nothing related with Wi-Fi, or at least this is how I understand. However, it somehow was affecting my calls to Thames water. Finally, I find way how to reach the Thames water. Do the WhatsApp, was messaging. They changed the date. The mistake of mine. Everything went well. They said it's gonna take you about 2 weeks or 3 weeks or so. However, they didn't let me know when they have done finally, because these days you don't get a lot of paper letters. You're not getting a lot of paper letters. Everything is paperless. And me person, I'm not really into laptop things. I'm not really spending a lot of time in my emails. My job is communicating with people and doing my job, so nothing related with the computers. This is actually, and the problem happened. I got a call from Thames Water after like a month or so. They said you have to pay your bill, and the price is like for all month. Hey, I was thinking, no, I'm paying every month. The guy was keep saying to me. I was actually surprised that they finally reached me, not to having any perfect connection here. However, they reach me. I think it's always if someone needs your money, they're gonna reach you anyway. Doesn't matter where you're gonna be. So he told me that you don't have any monthly plan, and your account is closed. Oh my God, I get so stressed. I opened a laptop. I was trying to keep myself calm, not to blow up. For my surprise, I had stable kind of internet connection, so I could get into my Thames Water account. And apparently, yes, it was closed. I have no idea why and who. Maybe the guy who was changing my moving out date. I have no idea. But my account was closed. And the guy was like saying, you have to pay because you haven't paid for the whole year. And I say, what's going on? I have to pay every month. It was a long conversation over the phone. I said the guy because I wasn't sure, because he wasn't saying correctly and very understandable his name. I thought maybe it's someone who's trying to get my money, and this is actually like a spam or something. So I end the call and get into my account to get the point what's going on. I refresh my account, everything is okay, and I submit the monthly payment. Everything is now okay. And because of the situation, I find out that they changed the date of a final bill, which one I can send to agency. Finally! So I send the old documents finally with the right dates to the agency. My agency said, before she was actually communicating for me, not really in a nice tone, which I half understand. But as you remember my previous video about the 3 days without electricity, and that they send me just £100 for my food, for it doesn't, my stress level and discomfort what I was going through was £100 doesn't mean anything. It's not about even money. But anyway, so now the letter sounds like this. Thank you for submitting all documents what we need. Look for another email from us. Interesting. Now it's actually already we're in September. I move out in the middle of June. It's gonna take me, I don't know, another month to get the deposit back. About the internet, I don't remember did I told in our previous video or not. However, I went to the main office of my provider. And I said the situation, but I don't have very good internet. And at the same time, I wanted to let them know that I have a different address. The guy was saying the fastest way to get your problem sorted out, you have to call to your provider and say that you are leaving the provider. Interesting, right? So I done that. He checked. He said everything is okay, your signal is okay, send that, because there's a lot of users of internet, and well, we cannot serve so much of people. We're trying our best to make it much better, to make our 5G much better, this and that. However, do I have still good internet? Nope. What good thing happened? For 1 month, I was paying 50% less. Which is, of course, makes me a little bit happy, but not happy because I am in the same situation still. Yes, because now if I need to do a lot of things with what's related to Wi-Fi, internet connection, to get into my emails, I need to go to coffee shop. And now I have kind of a thought. Why so much people are sitting in the coffee shops with the laptops? Before I thought, honestly, that it's only a student doing their job, or people like who lives with a lot of people in the one house and they want a little peace. But myself in this type of situation with a bad internet connection, I am now the same like them, going to the coffee shop and using the Wi-Fi of a coffee shop. Obviously, I cannot sit without buying anything. Yes, now I'm spending the money for the coffee. Which is actually, it's okay. I'm a coffee lover anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, this is another extra money to spend. But anyway. Conclusion of the video. I am sure of it that it's better have a consultation with a solicitor. With a professional person who knows the law and might answer all the questions about your as a tenant's rights and about the agency, how they can treat you and how they not supposed to treat you as the tenants. I believe it was my mistake that I haven't done that in the beginning of all situations, and only because I was sharing my problems at work with other ladies, I find out that other people have similar problems like me. and I found about the changes in the law, this and that. Yes, so I believe if you are moving and you are not really sure what is your rights, what kind of things might the agency request for you, because some of them obviously they want to get money, they want to make you rent the flat, right? And you want a comfortable place to live. It's easy like that. But if you are not know a lot of things and you're actually from another country, you might not know a lot of things what you're supposed to know in a different country. I believe so is the best way to go. This is what I'm gonna do as well from now on. I will go to have a consultation with a solicitors. At least which one is actually professional about that renting things and all those questions about that. And why I'm saying this? Because this is the other story. The situation happened to me in the Chiswick. If I quite remember correctly, it was about 8, maybe 7 years ago, but it's not important. Important thing, what happened? I was living in the Chiswick area. It's really beautiful, quite expensive. My flat was in the basement. Yes, but it was not really cold. It was okay. And it was really affordable for me back then to pay the rent and all the bills. Was everything okay? However, I was waiting for the letter from a consultant. And when I finally got it, I was start paying. After kind of week or so, I don't really remember. I remember the situation when I got the letter, but I have to pay more than 1,000. I was very stressed. I even took day off from my job to go to figure out what's going on. Apparently, I'm sure I was mentioning that in a previous video about my situation. The thing is, I still needed to pay for someone else not paid the bill. I was getting in that situation and I didn't know what to do. Of course, I just paid. And I even went to the consultant saying, and I even bring him the documents and the dates where I was moving in this flat, which one they telling me and sending me letters to pay for the consultants because I hadn't paid. But I was trying to prove them that this is impossible because I was paying for another even borough. I was not even living here in this borough. So why I have to pay for someone else not paid the bills? So from this story, what I share with you just now, you now understand why I'm saying that I do understand my previous agency so hardly requesting me final bills. Obviously, it's a perfect proof that the person was paying totally everything fine until the day they were still living in that flat. Very easy. And the other people not gonna have to pay for someone else's bills. The video looks a little bit chaotic, but I wanted you to feel how I felt being in this type of situation. There's a lot of things what you need to get rid of, deal it, and at the same time you're a little bit lack of information, lack of experience, and yes, lack of a professional help actually from solicitors, which one I mentioned before, right? Yes, you look a little bit like, ooh, I don't know where to start, what to do, what is this, why is like that, and you don't really understand what's going on and from where to start. Yes, so my recommendation, better have a consultation, nicely do everything correctly, submit correct the dates, and keep all the papers and documents in somewhere in a folder, which one really gonna help you later on to prove certain things what you will have to need to prove. I hope you like the video. Leave me comments. I'm very curious, did you go something similar like me or used to go through and you finally figure out how to do all the things, right? And maybe you can tell some tips how to not to get in certain situations. So put a like, subscribe, and see you around. Bye bye.